Hi, I'm Justin.
Also, I hate the way my voice sounds, so if you can do whatever Photoshop does to voices, make me sound awesome.
And this is my lovely friend,
The beauty in the eyes of the beholder, and it's just about getting into the seat of being the beholder.
Hayley.
I don't think you have to be particularly perceptive. I just think you have to look up.
This podcast is mostly just her telling me stories.
If you expose yourself to the possibility that this might be really awkward, there can be something just really cool on the other side of it.
She thinks that her life and way of looking at things are
Oh, I was kind of waiting on you. I thought you were getting your stuff ready. You're waiting on me?
pretty normal.
You got to edit out all the misinformation about the Amish.
Maybe you can relate.
I would like a chance to re-sing the Amish Paradise.
If you want lighthearted stories
All right, you want to talk about goats?
and stream of consciousness,
I just woke up and needed some friends, and so I bought them.
then you're gonna like the Sunny Side Up podcast.
Sunny side up, sunny side up, sunny side up, sunny side up.
So, if you're at all like me, you may feel that you're living in a world that can be a bit overwhelming and confusing at times. I'm also a huge fan of podcasts, documentaries, docudramas, stories, and of just information in general. Between all of that and the social media and news, sometimes our brains can feel like they're on overload. Hayley and I hope that this podcast can be something of an antidote to all of that. Like little jello shots of joy and distraction. None of it is too serious or really too informative. Mostly it's just two friends who have conversational chemistry talking about whatever enters the minds of relatively ADHD people. We hope you enjoy.
So I was gossiping about these people in a good way because they had so many good things going on. There's a guy at the school that I work at who has taken in a family from the Ukraine. And I was like, oh my gosh, what a wonderful humanitarian gesture. And they're like, it's not the first time he's done it. He's done it multiple times. So that's what we were gossiping about. How
This is like in your world.
Yeah. And I just think that's wonderful because I think hospitality is probably the core tenet of our faith, and we're not all as hospitable as we should be. But he has this family from Ukraine staying with him, and the woman wanted to pursue a certain career. She's been here for a year now.
Wow, yeah.
And she doesn't have any of her academic records.
Yep.
And she wanted to go into a college program to do something slightly different from what she had been doing before, but because she lacked those academic records, they were like, well, we'll just start over and get your GED and begin again. And I was like, no. I mean, she is a refugee from a known conflict.
Right.
Why are we...
Right.
And they're like, well, we can't get records of her diplomas and her transcripts and her degrees. And I'm like, I mean, can we maybe get an affidavit where she just swears on it?
Yeah.
But no, they're making her get a new GED so that she can get into this new college program. And how about that for fortitude?
Yeah.
Are you willing to go to another country and start over, maybe if the foreign invaders force you to, but are you willing to start from scratch in a different language?
Okay. The United States gets attacked by...
Canada. Please say Canada.
Well, no, come on, because if we get attacked by Canada, it takes Canada off the list of places you can escape to, which is what my question was going to be.
Which would really make it interesting.
Okay, you just made the game way more... Okay, so we get attacked by Canada.
Yes.
First of all, we would kick Canada's butt. So, in my mind, it has to be like the Chinese. Like, we're all scared of the Chinese right now.
By 2025, it is in the news currently that some of the U.S. military officials are like, we will probably be at war with China by 2025.
It could be. We will crash them, I say. Chinese, they're not a real threat. But let's pretend they are, because that's who we're scared of right now.
Not a real threat?
No.
In sheer numbers, they are a threat.
I know, but we're so far ahead of them, it's not even funny. But let's just pretend, like, for the people that are scared of them, let's say it's the Chinese, and they come attack us. We're, like... The Ukraine people that came here, like, what, you're on a boat, like, where do you go? Like, what's your like number 2 country?
Like me personally?
Yeah.
Strategically, I don't know what the best move is. That's a fun question, and I'll think about it and give you an answer. But me personally, did you read Cormac McCarthy's The Road?
So if you ask the question, did you read? Immediately assume the answer is no, because I don't read.
Did you watch the movie based on the book?
Oh, now we're getting somewhere. Okay, what was the movie?
There was a movie. It's called The Road. It's like a post-apocalyptic. You don't really know what's happening, but it's a father and a son pushing a grocery cart into the great unknown, which is desolate. And it's so hopeless, and it's gray and dreary, and it's hopeless. And at the beginning of the movie, the man's wife, I think, she just kind of exits herself from the situation, and it leaves the father and the son. But I know I'm not built to be a survivor. Like
oh no, me neither.
I'm probably not pursuing existence in other places. I probably choose the path of least resistance. Cowardly.
Okay.
We might want to edit this.
We take a really not sunny side up. Okay, let's say you are
New Zealand. New Zealand is the answer. They
okay,
speak English. It's where they filmed Lord of the Rings. It's stunning.
Yes.
They have a lot of sheep.
Okay.
Flight of the Conchords are from there.
Yeah.
Very sustainable energy oriented.
Okay. Yes.
Just good forward thinking. New Zealand.
New Zealand.
Will they take me?
Will they? I would think so. And what is the allure of sheep exactly?
Oh, I mean, there's worse things to have, I guess. That's just one of the only things I knew about New Zealand is that they have a big sheep industry.
And I mean, sheep are relatively harmless creatures, so maybe that's why, the lovable sheep.
Yeah.
We've talked about
there's food to eat. It's a food source and clothing source. So there's that.
That's good. I think New Zealand would be a pretty solid one. Yeah, I don't know that. I think I need to come up with we get attacked by China. Where would I go? I don't think I have a great answer. I am always fascinated.
You don't want to go to New Zealand with me?
I would not be opposed to New Zealand. I need to learn a little bit more about them.
That's nearly as enthusiastic as I thought. I just invited your family to come survive with me in New Zealand, and you're like, I'm going to need to think about it. To me, at least from the pictures, because, I live vicariously through my friends who have more money and time than I have. The travel to the Swiss Alps and to just Switzerland in general. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. First of all, nobody attacks them. They have lots of money.
That's true. Chocolate.
Their cows are beautiful.
Yes.
They have big bells and they have big doe eyes and they're just beautiful. The mountains, there's a couple of pictures of people standing in this gorgeous mountainscape with 10,000 waterfalls. And
The Sound of Music, the cover of the box.
You're living in, the Sound of Music dream world, and I just don't know that
politically neutral.
Politically neutral.
Speaks multiple languages.
Yeah. And well off. All the stuff. I mean, I think I might have to try it. Yeah, I might have to try Switzerland.
But it is in the middle of Europe, so if the United States is attacked, I feel like a lot of those countries might not be as entirely stable. At least with New Zealand, you're surrounded by water, which makes you a little more isolated. I'm not going to say it's safer because it's got its own perils, but...
Yeah. Would you learn that...
the orcs. You got to watch out for orcs if you're there. Oh, no, you didn't watch The Lord of the Rings.
Never mind. Yeah. I didn't watch The Lord of the Rings. I'm thinking orcas, which are definitely
you still got to watch out for those.
You got to watch out for the orcas,
but in a very different way.
Different environment.
You didn't watch any of The Lord of the Rings?
No. I, coming up, wasn't allowed to watch any movies, of course, and
this was in 2004, 2006.
Well, let me do the building blocks. First, not allowed to watch any movies. Then. Brother Mead also let us know that it was especially bad to watch things like E.T. I remember he called E.T. out specifically. If you watched E.T., I think you were going to get a demon inside of you for sure. And I did watch E.T., so I had a lot of concern about what demon I was potentially carrying. Yeah, hosting. But so as I started to watch movies, and I still carry this to this day. Thanks, Brother Mead. I like movies that either could be true or that are based on real life. My favorite movie genre of all time. If you tell me there's this movie based on a true story, I'm in. It could be about a dude selling, pencil erasers. And I'm like, that's going to be amazing because it's based on a true story versus, Lord of the Rings.
I am with you in that regard.
Are
yes.
you? Okay.
Yeah, no, that's true for me also. I did watch Lord of the Rings because cinematically it was spectacular.
Right.
The set and everything in it was amazing. And I didn't read The Lord of the Rings but my brothers did, so I've watched it a couple of times, and sometimes with their commentaries. It's good. I didn't know if you loved. Did you watch any of the C.S. Lewis movies or read any of the C.S. Lewis books? Because it's fantastical, but he's a Christian theologian.
Yeah.
Would that have been allowed under?
No, that would not have been
cult
allowed.
rules? What?
I know.
My goodness.
I know. Well,
that's
yeah, it's blasphemous.
Strict cult.
We were a very strict cult. We were Bible only, and then
all the books of the Bible were okay.
All the books of the Bible were okay.
Okay.
But you could read like a book for like school or something. That was okay. It was like just like, power through it, get it over with, and do your book report and be done. But anything that had any sort of religious connotations, if it wasn't one of the 66 books in the approved version of the Bible, was definitely a bit of a niche. Yeah. So C.S. Lewis would have been a giant no-no. Anybody who would have led us astray from our fearless leader would have been a no-no. So yeah, those are. I didn't even know about these people until in my 30s, or 30s or 40s. Yeah,
that's kind of fascinating because, I understand because in a lot of regards, the church that I went to or the upbringing that I had was kind of similar. These cartoons are going to be the gateway to the devil. Disney might be the Antichrist. That sort of thing. So I relate to that. It was definitely not to the extreme that you experienced, but for celebrated Christian theologians to also be on the no list, that's
yeah, he was very possessive. Like we were to look to him and his wife pretty much exclusively, or a couple of the minions that he had hand selected, but you didn't really get anybody outside our circle was bad. They were dangerous. So yeah, you couldn't yeah. That was that.
Hello, lovely friends. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. And it would mean the world if you would tell other people about this podcast and maybe even spam your social media accounts with just how much you're enjoying it. If you are, of course. Also, commenting and rating us on whatever platform you're downloading or streaming from is incredibly helpful to a little startup podcast like this one. On the other hand, if you are dissatisfied with your listening experience, please leave all of that hate on someone else's podcast. Just maybe to confuse them a little bit, right? But most of all, we hope you keep looking up and looking for the sunny side of life.